Welcome to Granny's Country Cooking, and I am Granny, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today, and we are going to have so much fun. What we are going to make today is cheesecake, but the first few things that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our hands are washed, and I have washed my hands. We'll put an apron on, that way you can play with the food and not worry about getting it on your clothes. Also, if you have long hair, you want to put it back away so it won't fall into the food, and it has happened, so you have to be careful about that. So anyway, the first thing we're going to do is make the cheesecake. We have to decide what size we're going to make. Now this size will feed a larger crowd, and this size will feed one or two people for several days. Today I'm going to be making the larger size. Now, if you're going to make the smaller size, if there's one or two of you that you're going to be cooking for, use the same amount for the pie shell, which is the graham crackers, and I'm going to tell you how to make that. That will be the same size for the large pie pan as well as the small pie pan. So we're going to put this up, and we are going to make the larger size today. We're going to set this over to the side. The first thing that we will do is we're going to crush the graham crackers. I know there are many recipes for cheesecake. There's hundreds, I'm sure, and I'm sure they're all very good. But this is one that is simplified. It has a good, sharp, little tiny lemony flavor, and it is delicious, just melts in your mouth. And it also is not a long bake. It is a pie that is pretty quick. You mix the filling, put it into the pie shell, and then you can put it in the oven and bake that for a few minutes. But then you can set the filling into the pie shell and then put it in the refrigerator for a few hours or overnight, and it will be perfect. And I wanted to tell you that you may hear a little puppy yipping around. We have a new family member. Her name is Bella Sue, and I will introduce you to her maybe after a while. So first we're going to get the graham crackers ready. This is one of the packages, and there are 9 large crackers in there. And what you do is you put it into a gallon-size baggie, and you dump that right into the bag, and then throw that away. Now what you're going to do is seal it up, try to get all the air out, mash that little baggie, and kind of slide them around in there, and then you're going to crunch them with a rolling pin, and it does not get the table all crumbly or anything like that. So we're going to start crunching these, and I will pause for a minute, and then when we come back, then they'll all be crunched. So we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Thank you. Okay, we are back, and I wanted to show you that I crushed the graham crackers with the rolling pin, and they're all just a fine powder. That's what you want. So let's open this up, and we'll just pour it into our bowl. Doesn't have to be a big bowl. And we're going to get all those crumblies in there, and it's neat to not have to worry about a mess because you can just throw the bag away. All right, now we have these beautiful little crumblies in there. The next step is you add a 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. And I wanted to show you, for some people that don't realize this, each stick of the real butter has the measurements on here. It'll show tablespoons, and then it shows 1/4 of a cup, and it shows 1/3 of a cup. So all you have to do is cut right on that 1/3 of a cup line, and then melt it. And that's what I did while we took a break. And so I have my little melted butter pan, and we're going to pour it into the graham crackers. Now, something that I want you all to know is that every time you start cooking, it is okay to have a little bucket of hot soapy water with a little bit of bleach. And what that does is that it has everything almost totally washed by the time you get through cooking. Now, if you have a double sink, which I don't, you can use one side of the sink and have it filled with hot soapy water, a little bit of bleach. And what the bleach does is it helps to cut the grease as well as it kills germs. There might be someone in your family that is sick, or sometimes our cutting boards may have some germs on them, and you can soak them down with that soapy water and it'll kill all the germs. Okay, back to the graham crackers. We are going to stir that melted butter into the graham crackers. The next step that we're going to do is 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can try and see if you like it without the sugar, because graham crackers are pretty sweet. But if you like it with the sugar, it'll take 3 tablespoons. Now remember, after you get used to doing some cooking, you can change these recipes up and add a little bit less or a little bit more, and they should work out okay for you. So we are mixing the sugar and the melted butter all together. Now you're going to have a few little lumpies, so you mash them out with your spoon. Remember that your hands are clean. Haven't touched puppies or anything like this. And that way, your hands, if you need to scrape the spoon with something, you can use your fingers because they're nice and clean. And while I'm cooking, you will be seeing in the future that I love to get my hands into the food. That's what makes it fun. All right, here we go. Now, if you look at this mixture, it's just a mixture of crumbly crumbs with butter and sugar in there. Now, this is going to be what is called your pie shell. Now, we're going to get the pie pan. I love this nice big size, and we're going to put double filling in. But this will also take the same size of this as a smaller pie pan. Now, so we don't forget, we're going to take a small amount, about 1/8 of a cup. This is 1/4 of a cup. We're going to take a small amount of crumbs out, and we're going to use that for decoration later. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just scrape this in to the pie pan. Get all the good stuff, and you will be tempted to lick your fingers because it is good. And we'll get all of that. I'll set this off to the side. Now you can use your spoon, you can use your fingers. I do like to get my fingers in, but I like to use a spoon to begin with. What you're going to do is you're going to mash the crumbs around and to build up the sides on the pie pan. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to take just a few minutes, not long, and it is so much fun to cook. I absolutely love cooking. As I was growing up, my mother made it so much fun, and that's what I want to do for you. I want it to be fun for you so that you will enjoy your cooking time. And whenever you have, sometimes when you're rushed, it's not that much fun to cook. But if you can set aside a few hours and take your time and enjoy it, it is so much fun. And you really get so much satisfaction from it because you not only get to enjoy it yourself, but you get to help others to enjoy it. And they become so proud of you for what you have accomplished. I'm beginning to hear, a lot of people are finding out about this show, and I'm beginning to hear from quite a few people. I've had the men that want to learn how to cook. I've had teenagers, and I've had younger children that want to learn to cook, boys and girls, and I am so very, very proud. As you may have seen in my introductory video on YouTube, I told a little bit about my history, and hopefully I don't look as old as I am, but I was raised with some of the real pioneer women that were in their 80s and 90s when I was a young girl. They were from the late 1800s to the early 1900s, and they didn't have microwaves, and they didn't have frozen pastries, and they didn't have anything like this. And they learned to cook the real country old-fashioned way. And that's what I began learning as a young girl, learning how to make all the fantastic things. I remember sitting at the tables and watching them making biscuits in a quick hurry and watching them make pies, and I was so fascinated. And it was just wonderful. And that's what I want to bring to you. I want to bring to you the fun of cooking and the enjoyment, and then to see other people enjoy your food too. And you will enjoy it. Also on the cooking shows, I want to show you how in this household we have a lot of family that come, but most of the time it's me and my husband. And so I still cook a large amount of food, but I've learned how to divide it up and make it last several days so that we don't have a lot of portions, but we have lots of good food to eat. Okay, now, if you want to see, the sides are up as we've been talking, and they have been kind of pushed. Here's a little bit more. I think I want to push a little higher on this side and get that a little bit higher, and you'll see how beautiful this is after the filling goes in. Now we are going to cook this at 350 oven for 5 minutes, not very long at all. So I'm going to pause a minute, put this in the oven, and we will be right back with you. Okay, see you in just a minute. Okay, we're back, and the pie shell has been cooking for 5 minutes in 350 oven. What that does is that it firms it up, but it doesn't make it too hard. It's a good firm. I have it sitting over here on a cooling rack or somewhere that can get air underneath it so that it can cool down, because you do not want to put filling into the hot pie shell. It'll take it longer to settle. Okay, now we're going to make the filling. Remember, we're going to make double filling because we're making a larger pie pan. Okay, I have a mixer. There are 2 8-ounce cream cheeses in this bowl. Now remember, they have to be warm room temperature. If the cream cheese has been set in the refrigerator for a little while, take it out of all the wrapping, set it in a bowl. You can cover it and let it sit out for several hours because it will mix so much better and fluffier. You need 2 cream cheeses, 8 ounces, okay? Then you need 2 cans of sweetened condensed milk. Now I've used many different brands and they all seem to work okay. So sweetened condensed milk, 2 cans, okay? Now we're going to blend this with the mixer, and it's going to take a few minutes to make it frothy, but we'll get back with you when I show you how frothy it will look. Then we're going to add vanilla to it. So we will mix it first, then we're going to add vanilla and mix some more. Okay, I'll be back in just... Okay, we have mixed this up. You want to get all of the white lumps gone. Make it all creamy and smooth. And if you can see, it's got white, little frothy, almost like egg whites, but it's frothy in there. And that's what you want. You want the little bubbles in there. Now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I've always used, through the years, I've found out that the Mexican vanilla is the best. I do have some other flavors that I've been trying with Mexican vanilla, and you will see some of those on some other shows. But right now, we're using this delicious Mexican vanilla. It really makes all the difference in the world. Okay, 2 teaspoons. Okay, there's 1. And there is 2. Okay. Set this over to the side. Now we're going to blend this until it's real frothy. So we'll get right back to you and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, it's all frothy and delicious looking, and if you want to put your finger in it, it's delicious. Now we're not going to put in the last ingredient, which is the lemon juice, until the pie pan and shell are cooled. So I'm going to pause it for a moment, and when the pie pan is cool, then we're going to put the lemon juice in and we're going to pour it into the pie pan. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, we are back. The pie pan is ready to go, and I'm ready to put the lemon juice into it. Now this is concentrated. I've used different brands, and this is juice from concentrate, lemon concentrate. You want to make sure you shake it up real good. It's going to be 2/3 of a cup. So we will pour that in. You want to make sure, now this is a liquid measurer. It's not like the flour and sugar measuring. This is a liquid measurer, and you have lines in it, and then you want to get down and make sure you're measuring it correct. So you want 2/3. Okay. Okay, we have 2/3. Now the lemon juice flavors it, but it also congeals it, makes it solidify. And when you put it into the refrigerator, it gets solid in just a few hours, and it's delicious. So we are going to put in 2/3 of lemon juice. We're going to mix it just like we did earlier until it's frothy. So we will be back with you. As I'm mixing the lemon juice in, as well as earlier, I like to use what's called a spatula. You can go around the sides and you can scrape all the good stuff back down in there. Okay, now we are going to try to get all of this off of here, and it is already turning thick. It's going to be delicious. Now for those of you that like to lick the bowl, it is delicious. And in my household, my husband loves to lick the bowl, and I like to lick the batters. So we're going to set this off to the side. Now, whenever you're pouring it, be careful. My bowls are a little bit heavier because they're pottery, but I love my pottery bowls. But we're going to hold it like this, and we're going to let it pour in. And it's already thick, as you can see. See, it's already going in thick and beautiful and delicious. The lemon juice helps to make it be solid, and it's a very quick recipe. Now we're going to scrape as much in there as we can. Now remember, this is a double recipe of the filling. Okay, we're going to try to get as much in there as we can. And my husband likes for me to leave a little bit in the bowl, so I will do that as a surprise. Okay, now we're going to sit this here. Try to scrape some off. If we make a mess, it doesn't hurt anything. And remember, we have aprons on, so it's not going to hurt anything. Now you can leave it to look like this, or you can kind of swim it around and make it look really pretty. I love to kind of swirl it and make it look pretty. We're just going to kind of swirl it around and make it look really pretty. Kind of swirl it in the middle. Beautiful. Okay, now, remember we had about 1/8 of a cup of the Graham's crackers that were not cooked. We saved them off to the side. Remember, clean hands, so we're going to decorate the top. And we're going to put a little in the middle, and then we're going to go all around the sides. We're going to, if you make little lumps, it doesn't hurt. It's all beautiful. All of your little decorations will always be pretty, and everyone will be so proud of you. And like I've had some of my friends say, I bet people are lined up at your door to eat some of your cheesecake and some of your other good stuff. And it's fun. I love to cook for other people and do things for other people. Okay, we have a teeny bit left, So I'm going to put this in the middle and wipe this off a little bit. Now, this is going to go into the refrigerator for a couple of hours. Now, if you're making this at home, you can put it in for a few hours or overnight. Now, when you first put it in, I usually use the clear wrap that goes over the top. And so right now I'm not going to do that because it's still so soft. But in a few hours I will put some over it, and you can keep it overnight. This is delicious. Now when you first cut it, the crust is going to be a little bit firm, so you need a sharp pointed knife when you cut it. So enjoy your cheesecake, and I can't wait to hear from you. Let me know. You can subscribe to this channel and touch the little bell thing to where you can get notified when there are some new videos. Also, I have an email address, and it's granniescountrycooking@gmail.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram. Now, I want you to write to me. If you would like this recipe written down, I will email it.